my first live stream, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but here we are. Uh, let's see. I've already put in my contacts, so I'm not blind as a bat, but since you probably already read the title, you know what this is. And then I'm going to take my face and transform it into how I usually wear my makeup. Please, excuse my hair. I straightened it about, I'd say 5 days ago now, and it hasn't been washed. It's been in this ponytail. Well, I keep redoing the ponytail because I'm about to dye it, and my hair has to be really, really oily for it to take. So, I know the last thing that I uploaded was about, it's been a while, but it was of the hotel room in Georgia, and, what else can I do? This is just, I'm still waiting on a lot of stuff, and I'm not ready to express the full details of what's going on. I've got videos backed up explaining a lot of different things of why I was there. So, let's just do this and get it over with, because I'm incredibly nervous. I had to take anxiety medication before I even attempted this one. Now, so I'll explain some of the things, and I'll go over, exactly why I was out there, what happened while I was out there, etc., etc., and just go from there. But anyways, sorry I keep looking down and looking at my little makeup bag, trying to pull everything out. I wasn't quite ready for this yet. Which is the story of my life. I'm never ready for jack, ever. And I forgot my lotion, and it is way the hell over there. I might as well get up and get it while I'm right here and nobody's watching. So, 1 second. My face is very, very dry, so I use a moisturizer that has oatmeal in it, and it's the generic brand of Aveeno, but it works just fine. And if I start looking down, it's because my mirror is right below y'all, so it keeps telling me to rotate device. This is the only way that you'll be able to see me, because I don't have the proper equipment to prop everything up. So I start by putting a bunch of lotion all over my face. And now it's telling me I have a very bad connection, but my husband is playing PS4. My son is on his tablet, probably playing some game that he's discovered online, etc., etc. Alright, now, because I'm so fair, and it's so rare that I actually go out in the sun, I only have 2 colors of foundation, and these are actually my favorite ones that I got recently. And I wasn't sure which ones, because when I was a teenager, I wore porcelain, and now that I've gotten older, it goes back and forth between these 2, and they're the 2 lightest shades, but they don't always match my skin tone, so it is what it is. And I tone it down with actual Halloween makeup, which is quite scary to think about. I'm that pale that I have to use Halloween makeup to tone down my foundation. But okay, we're gonna do this anyways. Let's see. We're gonna go with Wet n Wild Foundation Photo Focus Nude Ivory. And I'm gonna just slather it all over my face when I talk. Now, when I get down to my eyes, it's a completely different situation. I may not say very much, but and I'll be leaning forward, looking in my mirror. So, I'm gonna mess this face up real fast. I have a lot of freckles because of all the times that I have been sunburned and just general sun damage, even though I have always wore sunblock. It's doesn't always help. I keep looking down and at y'all to make sure that I've got this evenly coated, because it's one thing you never want is for your neck to be a completely different color than what your face is. When I was in school, the popular girl clique, we had a certain name for it because there was always that orange line that went right here because nobody knew how to blend down into their neck. Well, certain cliques didn't. Anyways, just spreading this out all over my face with one of these Clean Beauty pads, which I love so much. And my mirror is so dirty that I really can't tell anything. Can't tell if I'm actually doing this really well or not, since it is live. And that's sad. I'm sure my mother will be in the comments soon telling me that she doesn't approve of my eyeshadow, which she doesn't like. I love this eyeshadow. It is one of my favorites. And I guess it's because I've always had an infatuation with blacks and reds. And I just think it looks good on my skin. Not a lot of people do. I still need to put my other earrings in. Gotta go to the grocery store today. I do have, I think I've already said it, I do have quite a bit of videos that I need to put up. I just haven't yet because everything is not finished yet. Now I take my Halloween makeup. Sad. I buy this in bulk when Halloween rolls around because it's cheaper than getting the Stargazer Virgin White that you get from like Hot Topic or Amazon or anything like this. It's just your normal white face powder. I'm pretty sure it has talc in it, so you know, I can't afford to really use the Virgin White by Stargazer. I would love to, and I'd actually love to be able to afford the Whitest White foundation, but you know what, I can't. And you know, my friends Calienda can attest to the fact that what you're seeing through your screens, I'm actually about 2 shades lighter than what you see. I glow at night. Seriously, if I wear shorts and I go outside, even during the day, there's a reflection off my legs, so you gotta tone it down some way. Oh, my connection is very bad. Okay, now that that's on, I'm going to go to my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, and it's in Warm Light. It looks like that. And I actually bought another one, but I picked up the same color. So I'm just gonna do this now. There's no reason to even wait on a correct color. Blend down into the neck. You hear a bunch of noises, me stuffing stuff back into my makeup bag. My brush doesn't go in there because I actually have a set that I love very much, and it will go back into the set, and that's going in there now. Rambling, do apologize. So actually, I don't know where to start with this, so I'm just gonna do what I normally do and just talk in the process. This is actually medical grade paper tape, and I love this stuff. It works very well when you can find an end to get the sharp lines on your eyeliner, because I wear quite a bit of eyeliner, always have. And it's not as sticky as Scotch tape or actual medical tape. So I'm going to lean forward. I go under my lash line, bottom lash line, and up. I spread that out as good as I can. I will have a little fallout, but that's okay because I'll blend it in at the bottom lash line. I gotta say that I'm really happy to be home. Oh, I cut that one a little too long, but it's okay. It'd be alright. I am very happy to be home because being in Georgia caused me a lot of anxiety that I didn't need. And the more anxiety that I have, the worse my mood becomes about everything. So I'm glad to be home. I've got some video of the airport, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. And I mean, it was a beautiful airport, but it's still the fact that I was so scared to be in that place by myself. So we'll just talk about that. My flight from DFW, oh, this is L'Oreal, and it doesn't even have a name on it. It's a white cream eyeshadow that I use my finger for, because I go all the way up and over and down. And this will come back into play here pretty soon after I get all the tape off. I had a pretty rough time while I was in Georgia, despite, I had my best friend from Georgia there with me. He did stay with me as much as he could, and I love him to pieces. He actually was with me when I bought this necklace, and I don't know what I'd do without him, really. I talk to him on a daily basis, and he will always, always be a part of my life. No matter what anybody says, this man will always be a part of my life. And I don't care at this moment that his wife can't stand me, which I have still, I really don't understand why. Now the only high-end product that I have here is my Stargazer eyeshadow in deep red. I love this stuff. I got it off of Amazon, and I think I paid like $4 from it, and it got shipped from, I believe, the UK. And I'll wait it, and I'll wait it. And the only thing I have to say about it that I don't like is the pan came loose from the container as soon as I took it out of the package. But this is my favorite eyeshadow of all time. All time. I stayed in a hotel room, which y'all saw, which was an experience to begin with. And I was there for 5 days, 4 nights, and it was a clusterfuck. And I really don't care. I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I'm gonna say what I want to say, and I'm gonna cuss. But if you don't like to hear anybody cuss, then you can just go on right now. It was a very hard decision for me to have to go back out there, just from the emotional trauma that I'd experienced while I was out there the first time when I lived out there. And it was very, very hard to go back knowing that there was people that may see me and bring up past stuff that really did not need to be brought up. But luckily for me, I didn't run into those people. I only came in contact with, well, there was several occurrences, but I'm not getting into that right now. I'll get into it when it's over and done with. That I did come in contact with. One of my really good female friends who I'd worked with came and saw me when Damien wasn't there, and I went and I worked at her chicken hatchery type thing. You know, you go in, you collect the eggs. Well, you don't really collect the eggs. They come shooting out this conveyor belt to you of all these white chickens everywhere, and it was 4 houses, I believe, of collecting hundreds and hundreds of eggs. And I did have fun. You know, I'm a country girl, so that to me is pretty fun. Oh, and all of my makeup is actually waterproof because I live in Texas and it's hot. Everything melts. Now to clean my brushes, I'm using a baby wipe because I am too cheap to sit there with one of those little things and swirl it around and clean my brush. Okay. The first day I got to Georgia, I made it to Hartsfield Jackson Airport, and I texted my friend and said, hey, you know, I'm here. And he was happy that I was here. You know, they were all pretty happy that I was there. So, the first Uber lady, since I didn't have a ride from the airport and I can't drive, the first Uber lady actually could not take me where I needed to go because I had landed at a later time during the day. I left Texas about I'd say it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, but my flight was at 7, I believe. So I got there, and it was about an hour and a half flight, 2 hour flight, somewhere there. Okay, the next one I'm using is Guilty Pleasures palette by Hard Candy, which I love Hard Candy. I always have. They've always been a good makeup for me. I don't get a lot of fallout, and I kind of diffuse my edges with this. Now, if my door opens, it's probably my child coming in. So, I do apologize for that. And I'm using, it's kind of a purple shade. I don't have any, there's no color on it, but it's this one right here out of the Guilty Pleasures palette. And I actually have 3 of these before they decided to discontinue them. I picked up a bunch of them and they're unopened. So I arrived, the first Uber or Lyft or whatever you want to call it, couldn't take me home. It was, it was later in the day. It was about, I gotta say, I'd say it was close to 2. Georgia is an hour ahead of Texas, so, the Uber lady, I understood why she couldn't continue the fare. But she did find me another person who would pick up my fare. Now I'm going in with my same brush, and I'm going to diffuse it some more with the silver color that's in here. And so I was like, you know what, whatever. And it's fine. I understand you have kids, you have to get it from school. I'm not real worried about it. I appreciate it. Can you help me find another Uber? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. Not a problem. I'm like, okay. So she finds me another Uber and drops me off at a Waffle House in Atlanta. I hate Atlanta. I've never liked Atlanta, just for the simple fact I am not a city girl. I've never liked to be in spaces that have a lot of people in them. They make me very nervous, and I just can't handle it. So excuse me. And she finds this guy that's really close and is able to take me to the motel that I was staying at. So he gets there. I see him because on the Uber and the Lyft app, it shows you exactly where your driver is. And I was like, okay, you're right there. I look up. The man waves at me, cancels the fare. And I'm like, really? So I have to go back and find another Uber driver, Lyft driver, which the last one was a Lyft. And he came and he got me, and he was so sweet that, he didn't really have time to do it, but he understood because I told him everything that was happening, and he understood that I needed to get to my hotel room to get checked in. And so the fare itself was like $77 from Atlanta to Calhoun. And I tell you what, the whole ride from Atlanta to Calhoun was an interesting thing. We spoke the whole time, which is rare for me to speak to somebody like that I really am not sure of, that I don't really know, because I'm very, very weird about people. And he made me feel very comfortable being in his car for the hour and a half that I was going to be there. And so we talked and talked and talked, and he dropped me off at my hotel. And I said, well, I leave here in a few days. Is there any way that you can be my driver back to the airport? And he's like, yeah, just, leave me your number. And he asked, well, what day do you leave? And I said, well, I think I leave on Sunday, but I may leave on Monday. And he said, okay, well, here's my number, just let me know. And I was like, alright. He said, because Sundays I usually don't work. I was like, yeah, that's understandable. I get it. My eyeliner for my top lids is Maybelline Eye Studio in the blackest black with the little brush. You have to bear with me here because this is going to be interesting. Get to the hotel, get checked in, and I'm like, damn, I'm starving. And like I said in the previous video, when I got into that room, all I wanted to do was eat and just lay down. I was tired. I'd been up all night. My ride got to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and poor Calienda. But she, made sure, we were texting back and forth, and I told her I'd made it there and all this other stuff, and I ordered, it was either Domino's or Pizza Hut. It's been a while. I think it was Domino's. I ordered food. Starving. Absolutely starving. So I ordered food. I remember what I ordered. I ordered pepperoni pizza and a supreme pizza and breadsticks. And, basically 2 Pepsis, and that's what I ate for supper the 4 days, 5 days, 4 nights that I was there, was the pizza. I had ordered the pizza. My friend Damien I didn't think that he was going to show up because he had to go to work, which is what he told me, but the butthead surprised me. I was so tired. And I opened the door because I heard the knock on my door, and I'm like, oh, pizza's here. Yay. I opened the door, and there's my best friend that I haven't seen in 11 years, standing there, looking at me, smiling. And I broke down in tears, and all I could do was hug him. And I didn't want to let go. And, I hadn't seen him in forever. I just wanted to continue to just squish him. And then within 10 minutes, we hadn't even got to talk a whole lot yet, the pizza was there. Because they called me and they're like, okay, what room number are you in? And I'm like, well, it's 210. And I said, I'll come outside and I'll help you because I know this is a large order, and plus you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart, because they had changed the routes before I got there. And they weren't even supposed to deliver to this hotel room. Okay. And so I went outside. I grabbed the pizza. I paid the man. I left him a fucking awesome tip. He deserved it for coming way out of his way to feed this poor girl right here pizza. I was starving. And of course, I couldn't rent a car or I would have done it myself, but you know, whatever. Things happen. And I tipped him about $20. Like, look, dude, I appreciate this. Thank you so much. You don't know what this means to me. Thank you so much. I'm so hungry. So I get the pizza back in the hotel room. And we're just gonna go ahead and peel this off. Perfect wing. And sitting there, I'm stuffing my face. And yes, I got a trash can right there. For anybody cringes, there's a trash can right there. And sat there and ate and talked to Damien for a while before he had to go to work. Picked at him, you know, normal best friend things that we had. My thing was when I lived out there is I would sit across from him and I'd pick at his fingernails because at that time he worked at a carpet mill and his fingernails were always stained, like horribly stained. And I would sit there and I'd take my fingernails and run them up under his and clean his fingernails out and just pick at him because I couldn't stand it. My OCD was just too much. And so that's what I did. I sat there and I picked at him, and then he had to run off to work. And I was like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And when I say later, I mean every day this man was with me because he was scared that something was going to happen to me if I was left alone, which there was some stuff that went down, but I'd rather not go into that right now until everything is taken care of and finished with him, with my ex. Sorry, I gotta lean a little closer, I can't see this edge. And so, sat there, talked, he went to work, and cleaning my eyeliner off with my handy dandy baby wipe. Oh, I got a viewer. Hello, whoever that is. I don't know who you are, but hi, because I can't see Jack right now. And we sat there and, well, I sat there that night and just watched TV and a bunch of other crap. I'll go ahead and take this off too. And the next day rolled around and I was like, shit, I don't have any toothpaste. This hotel room didn't even have any toothpaste or anything like that. I mean, I got an ice bucket, I had 1 bar of soap. Hi, Glenda. I love you, girl. Tell me where I'm at. We got to have a nice conversation, you know, every day that I was there. And which is always good for me to have that type of conversation, especially when I am just not even, I'm by myself the whole time, you know, in a hotel room with no way to go anywhere. So it was really good to know that I still had somebody out there that would help, you know. Which I don't need to cry right now, my eyeliner's not set, and there would be eyeliner everywhere if I cried right now, so we're not gonna do that. That was my Exaggerate by Rimmel and the Blackest Black eyeliner. I'm going back to the Stargazer, and this is what I put under my eyes. Right under the lash line, and he came every day. We had quite a lot of fun, you know. I went out and saw his dad's burial site and said my prayers to the man who helped burst my best friend, and just, sorry, it's kind of backwards doing this in a camera. We went to Waffle House, which was our normal gathering spot after both of us would get off work when I lived out there. And it's pretty close. We got into it a little bit at Waffle House because I wouldn't let him pay the bill, of course. I was like, dude, you know what? The hotel didn't even have, they didn't have toothpaste, they didn't have jack. And you brought me toothpaste and all kinds of shit. I'm happy. I'm not worried about any of this. Oh, where'd my powder go? Don't need it. Alright. So, I was just like, whatever. And we went back to the hotel room and we watched TV, and he got annoyed with the fact that your girl here likes her heavy metal. And that's one of the redeeming features of that hotel room was they had music channels, and that's what I listened to every night before I went to sleep, was the heavy metal channels. Glenda knows this. I don't think she's ever heard me listen to anything besides the headbanger stuff. And we sat for hours talking, and, you know, I was scared the last night I was there because of some things that had happened, and again, I'm not going to get into it, so I asked him, I was like, please ask your wife, since I have 2 beds in this motel room for both of y'all to come, and, you know, stay with me, because the previous night had been horrific. I'll just leave it at that. And he was like, okay. Well, she decided that she was going to come, and then at the last minute decided that she didn't want to. So, and told him to come. And so he showed up without her, and I'm like, dude, where's she at? You know, I want to have some type of relationship with my best friend's wife, and she didn't want nothing to do with me, so fuck it all. My Scandalous makeup, mascara by Rimmel, so she didn't show up. But about midnight, he's laying there in his bed, we're talking, and a phone call comes in. And I'm like, answer your phone. And he's like, no. Like, answer your phone, dude. And he answers his phone. And I could hear her screaming, and I'm like, dude, just go. There's no reason for me to cause an argument between you and your wife. So just, you go ahead and go. I'm not going to sit here and listen to it. We're not doing this. And he's like, all right. He left. And I stayed awake the rest of the night. And then the next day, he came back, after he dropped his wife off at work and apologized to me. And I'm like, you have no need to apologize. If she doesn't want a relationship with me, it's all good. I'm not worried about it. And some people don't, some people see me as a threat, which I've still never understood why I'm seen as a threat. It doesn't make sense to me. My next step, which I'm going through this pretty quick because it doesn't take me very long to put my face on, is my hard candy highlighter. And it's a baked highlighter. I love this. This is the lightest shade. I don't wear blush. I used to not do my eyebrows, but I've noticed you kind of have to do your eyebrows. But I really don't like this brush. Anyways, I run it across it and use all three of them at the same time to highlight my face. We got to spend a little more time together. I got to see another one of my friends while I was there. And it was fairly interesting, to say the least. She's been on this smear campaign about me for a while now. And I could care two shits less what anybody thinks of me and the way I look or the way I talk. And my niece here in the comments knows this because since she's known me, and she's a teenager now, I've always looked like this. It's not going to change. I just highlighted my cheeks, my nose, get a little bit on the tip. That's what she said. And then I'm going to do my Cupid's bow. I'm done with that. But whatever. It is what it is. I don't care anymore, honestly. Oh, this is another thing I got off Amazon. This was like 99 cents. It came from China. This thing is awesome. I love my false eyelashes, as you can tell. And this is not all of them. I have like 13, 14 more pairs hidden in another little dealie like this. I didn't bring enough baby wipes. And so it is what it is. People like me or they hate me. And I really have never cared. It's just a whatever thing for me. I got over, being bullied by people a long time ago. And I didn't mention this, but I used Kiss strip lash adhesive. I really just don't even care what people have to say about me anymore. And it's none of my business what people think about me. If they don't like me, fine. If they like me, it's all good. But again, I don't like a whole lot of people. I'm a little bit of a bitch. And I really am. Don't care. At all. Oh, and it does have a little mirror in it. And so the day I left was a very, very traumatic day for both me and Damien. We both cried because I knew and he knew that I probably wasn't going to be back. And that's what scared him the most is he knew, even though he could still talk to me, he has my number and all this stuff, that I wasn't, no, I'm not putting myself back in that position to be fucked with again by some people that were just basically stalking me. And again, I'll go into more detail about why I say that after everything is done, because I don't even think my niece knows exactly what happened. Not many people knew that I was gone, and the few people that did, I made them promise not to tell anybody. Sorry, I'm looking down, my eyelashes freaked out. These are a double pair, and I'm trying to get it situated again, and it's not working. So, we sat there in a park, and on the last day, after we had drove around, we had eaten breakfast and all that fun stuff, and talked, and, went to Walmart and got my son some presents from out of state, and sat there and waited for the Uber to come and get me, because the guy never told me if he could, come and get me or not. He wasn't sure. And so we sat there. My Uber driver was about an hour away, and we got a little bit more time together, it was rough. It was very rough leaving my best friend behind again after 11 years. It's always hard. So we sat there, we talked for a long time. My Uber driver showed up, and she was a Texas lady, and she immediately, when she heard my accent, she was like, "Oh, you're from Texas. I know that accent. I'm from Texas." And it was another one that I got to sit and talk to and felt comfortable around, which is rare for me to feel comfortable around anybody. Lashes on. There we go. Oh, my niece left. Lovely. But anyways, we talked and talked and talked, and before I got out of the car at the airport, she was like, "Oh, please, 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 I miss my home so much. Please, 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 kiss Texas ground when I get there." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course, honey, I will." And this is my favorite NYX lipstick. It's called Transylvania. This is a little bitty one. And I landed in DFW that night. I gotta say it was about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, somewhere in there. After, my plane had been jacked up, the one that I was supposed to get on was jacked up, and they had delayed my flight for many hours. So I got there a little later than normal. And my best friend here was waiting for me with her mother, and that was like incredible happiness to walk out of DFW and to see my best friend standing there waiting on me with her mother was just heartwarming, because she was crying, I was crying, her mother was crying, we were all crying because I'd only been gone just, a few days, but it felt like an eternity. And I got home and greeted my husband, and then the next morning I crawled into bed with my son and I was like, Terry, and the boy's like, what? He's 8. And I said, Terry, baby, wake up. And he jumped up, and he sleeps on a futon. Okay, no, I was laying on the edge. The child jumps up, the futon flips, he lands on top of me, and he's just hugging me and kissing me and all over my face. And I'm like, do you miss me? And it's like, yeah. And it was very nice to be home. I miss my best friend so very much. Even though we can still talk to each other, I miss him. I really do. And I don't know how well I'll ever be able to get over being 900 miles away from him. I don't think I ever will. So, but anyways, now that I've got face on, I guess it's time for me to go get dressed and go to the grocery store. It's really hot. I don't want to go outside, but you do what you gotta do. Oh, and also, my mother gave me this beautiful necklace. My middle name is Valley. My grandmother's name was Fern, and I was named after her, and I begged my mother for this necklace. So now I've got, my namesake's necklace and the name. And I couldn't be happier. It's a scent when you open it up, and I've got citrus in it right now, and it smells really good. But anyways, this is what I got. I'm done. And thanks everybody for watching. Bye.